Reverse Halloween. You remember that?
Yeah. We need to
I think
we need to.
we should do that, but also bring costumes. So like instead of going and asking for candy, we're gonna give out candy, but we're also gonna give out costumes. So we're gonna dress them.
That sounds a little weird. We're gonna dress them. Isn't that a little like pervy?
Huh?
Why isn't that a little pervy?
Well,
We're a bunch of nice Christian men saying we're gonna dress them up. You know, audience, what do you think of that? It's weird. You can't do that, Cam. Nowhere in the Bible does it say, "I shall dress a sister in a banana outfit."
I just had the idea. I got another question.
What?
Okay, so say you park in a handicapped spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you go throughout your day, like at the mall or wherever you just parked,
Mm-hmm.
and then you end up being paralyzed from the waist down. Well, yeah. Would you end up getting towed that day? Or would your car end up getting towed? Very serious.
Probably, because with you being paralyzed from the bottom down, you can't walk and go vouch for yourself. You're crawling there.
Please, no! Don't tow my car! My 2014 Chevy Silverado!
You see, there's so many flaws in the argument. Yes, sorry, audience, I forgot to light my candle.
Nate, how could you?
It's not lighting. It must be defective.
Nate, how could you forget to light the candle?
I don't know.
Nate, sometimes I feel like I just don't understand you.
I know you don't. This is.
Welcome back to the Orangey Glad podcast. We're glad to be back for another episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should continue our talk from last week over is cereal a soup? So this is cereal a soup part 2.
Kim, the last time
I really feel like we didn't get any clarity last time.
Well, the last time we didn't get clarity because we ended up getting into a fist fight off of cam, and off camera, and a viewer proceeded to assault their relative because they had the same view as me that cereal is not a soup. But I do have another food article on here today.
Oh.
I present to you, audience,
What'd you bring in, Nate?
the Atheist Nightmare.
What?
The Atheist Nightmare, a nice, delicious, nutritious Atheist Nightmare sponsored by Dole. There's your money for the podcast, Cameron, so you can fund your family's retirement plan.
We are not sponsored by Dole.
Yes, we are. So as you can see from the beginning, a nice long banana that comfortably fits the human hand due to the 3 ridges on the back and the 2 on the front, so it slides in nice and easily. But as you can see, it also has a nice biodegradable package, and you can take the tip of it and hopefully, oh, look at that. So good and tasty. As it folds down nicely over your hands to protect it.
Where'd you get that banana?
I have to talk to Ragnar, the Demon Lord, about this one.
Is that my banana?
Yeah, it's the
You can
atheist.
have it.
I know.
You can eat it.
As you can
You
see,
can eat it if you
it
want.
conveniently occurs into the mouth for ease of access. So, for our daily segment, cardistry trick, I'm going to teach you guys a semi-appropriate cardistry trick called Make It Rain on My Partner. So you look at your partner dead in the eyes. You pull out your deck of cards, and you just throw them in around his face. Don't get him inside the nice full farmhouse candle. Also sponsored to you by Mainstays. I'm gonna let Cam do the talking.
Okay.
Because my ADHD is about to kick in. Cam, I'm gonna go
Did
stop.
you take your Adderall today?
No.
Okay.
Cam, I have to. Did you know, Cam, trucks are cool.
Trucks. Oh,
Did
you know what? That
isn't-
reminds me. I forgot my glasses today. Shoot.
How's your like cat scratch from your cat basically like absolutely shredding your hand? Is that better? So I heard that you got beaten up by a kitten.
Yeah. I mean, that little scratch right here.
Do you need me to kiss your boo boo?
Honestly, man, being a cat owner is so hard. I
Yeah.
contemplate having one every single day.
You didn't answer my question.
What?
Do you want that boo boo kiss, boo?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right. So for some reason I feel weird. I feel not myself. I think my ADHD isn't as bad. I'm not as tall. I put on some weight. And I lack cardistry skills, but I still feel like the same old Nate. What about you, Cam?
What are you asking me?
Do you feel different today? Like, do you feel like you're just a completely different person who might be on some psychosomatic drugs?
Well, no, I don't really feel that different today.
But where are your tattoos? You don't look like a human boulder.
I
Like-
don't really know.
I mean, I don't think I took my Adderall today, actually. But I don't think it was Adderall. Some sketchy guy in an alley gave it to me and told me that I could go to heaven early if I took it. But it really hasn't done anything more. But I saw weird colors today, and I summoned a demon to give me this banana. That was pretty neat.
Why'd the demon give you the banana?
Because he felt nice for once. You see, I had to sacrifice 4 children to get this banana. Do you see remorse in my eyes? Do you? Anyway,
I've been practicing.
back to it. On the same kind of subject note as cereal is soup, is a banana, or not banana, is a hot dog is it a
Hot dog
sandwich
and
or a
sandwich.
taco? Or is it its own thing?
What? Well, you know how sub buns? Okay, look at a hot dog bun. It looks like a mini sub bun.
You're right, but it doesn't.
So.
There's the thing is they're separated in a sub bun unless you go to not all the time.
No, when you like at Subway, that thing's fold. It only folds open one way. So, and that's a sandwich. That's considered a sub sandwich. So a hot dog, I feel like, is considered, that would be a sandwich because you're putting meat in between like a
But it's more like a taco because it folds up nicely and holds the meat inside. Audience, what drugs are you on today?
Well, let's see.
My grammar's not so good anymore.
Well, let's see. Which came first, the hot dog or the taco? Pretty sure taco came first.
Oh yeah, and therefore that means it falls under that category, Ken.
So the Americans looked at a taco and was like,
taco dog.
you know what? Let's make that more American. Well, we've already Americanized tacos.
Yeah.
So this is just the Americanized version of a taco.
Mm-hmm.
We went even further.
Yeah, Americans. I can't even think about that, Cam.
But I don't even know if that's a fair argument.
I can't pay attention either because I didn't take my Adderall today.
You should probably do that.
I should. I just can't. I can't believe it, Cam. You know, Fortnite's dead. Fortnite just took the fat L.
Yeah, I heard
for
news.
temporary.
I heard news on that. What happened?
In the middle of me playing to catch some dubs, I'm sitting there and I'm just playing with, I was playing with Andrew Ratton, and he's like, dude, what's that? And all of a sudden, these 2 missiles just hit the center of the map, and everything went black. Black is my soul. Mucho blacko. And it just stopped. The game hasn't worked anymore, and I'm scared that I've spent my $4,000 from running this business on my Fortnite skins and my backpacks and my pickaxes are all gonna go to waste. And
Did they intentionally like shut it down?
I really hope they did. To be honest with you, it's a problem for me.
But for real, like what?
I think it's just gonna be a business catch to get all the people to come back super hyped and see how addicted kids are actually to this game. Because right now there's kids in the corner crying and trying to find a Fortnite fix, but they can't actually find a Fortnite fix.
It's not there.
Yeah. It sucks for them. But for me, I have my addictions. Jesus. Right, audience?
Right.
You're not part of the audience. You host this show with me.
Yes. But I was just answering for them. Because you can't. Never mind. But like. So you think it's a business tactic to like get people that used to play it to be like, hear all this news like, oh, it's back, like it shut down, it's out, like, and then you hear about that and you're like, what? I used to play Fortnite. What happened? Like I'd look more into it, and then like once it comes back on, I'd be like, have that thought in my head. I'm like, oh, it's back. I should play it.
No, I think what they're trying to do is test the audience and see how actually like addicted they are, so then they can just milk them for more money. I'm being real with you. Milk. MILK. I can't think. I forgot my Adderall. My brain's on 400 ideas at once.
Well, you know. Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, I got it back. So.
Dude, it is so warm in here.
I know, I can't think. I should probably take this jacket off. It's toasty. Hold on, I have to
sauna.
I have to embrace fall.
But you're not gonna blow it out. Don't blow it out, Nate. Nate, you don't need to blow it out.
This is how I get my fix. If I don't have Adderall, I just smell fall farmhouse, and that's how I can pay attention in class, because I have the nice inside of a middle class white family's home. Fall farmhouse. So, Cam, how was your experience with Fall Retreat, which is run through crew that was hosted just this past weekend? I know you had some amazing time there. Was there any moments that stuck out to you that you will remember forever, such as a really handsome gentleman getting hit in the face with a volleyball and somehow managing to?
Well, I didn't see that. But apparently, my friend Alex was there, and yeah, he was playing volleyball on this team. I don't know what his team name was called, but
was it Muck Duck?
Maybe. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe. And then they were playing volleyball against the staff, and like, I don't know what exactly happened, but I just heard that a volleyball smacked him in the face, and then bounced off his shoulder, and then that saved the point, and they ended up getting the point. But you were just the confusion on your look, or the confusion on your face. I don't know.
Why are you talking to me as if I'm Alex? Remember, I'm Nate. Cam, did you accidentally take some of the drugs that guy gave me? Because, like, I'll admit, Alex is a great kid. Very good looking. You should talk to him sometime. He's great. But another person who I really think performed really well was my roommate, Cam. Also, so sexy. I love that kid. All he keeps reminding me of the fact is that, I ate some random guy's sandwich, and it really hurts sometimes, because when I got home in secret, I actually cried for 30 minutes. This is on record now, but I'm a sensitive boy, and I just wanted to tell you that hurt me a little bit, because not only did I have an indirect kiss with a man, I also ate a man's sandwich, and that hurts more.
You indirectly what?
Kissed a man because I ate his sandwich.
No, can we seriously talk about something?
What?
I remember when I was talking to you earlier, I was talking to you about how I don't really use the word love towards women.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I want to save it till like, just to savor it, and that way I don't throw it around too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said that I'm never ever gonna romantically say I love you to a guy. And then you responded with, well, you don't know that. And
that was a great day.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. All days are good. That's the Lex family motto. Be optimistic literally all the time. You cannot be sad if you're Nate Lex.
But I just want you to put yourself in my shoes. You were like, imagine you telling me that you're never gonna tell a guy that you romantically love him. And then I was like, well, and then I'd be like, well, you don't know that. What would you be feeling?
Confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of despair.
Despair.
And the weird craving to eat a banana. And it's just so good.
What are you guys doing? Is that my hoodie?
Hey, we're trying to. No.
Hey, I need you to leave. You're not. Are you Nate Lex?
Hey, we're trying
You're
to.
not Nate
Hey, we're
Lex.
trying to do a podcast.
I need you to leave.
Yeah.
Did you guys set up the whole podcast
Yes.
by yourself?
Is it-
Is it on? Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing in my house?
You guys are really trying to do the podcast without us.
You guys.
Honey?
Why is there a deck on the floor?
What happened?
Oh.
Alex's new move.
You wanna bite
It's
of my
not what it
banana?
looks like.
Your atheist
Cam?
nightmare.
My atheist nightmare?
Hey, can we just
Tastes like
do this
salvation.
podcast without you guys bothering us?
Yeah,
we can. All right.
We were actually playing Black Ops in the living room.
We were, yeah.
If you guys want to finish it, you guys can.
By the way,
Oh,
you're
gonna cut
definitely
this whole
not
part
Nate
out,
Lex or
aren't you?
Cameron Toner.
No.
You're Alex.
It is
You're
so
Cameron
freaking
Johnson,
hot in
and
here.
you're Alex Schundel. Why are you in my recording studio?
I slipped.
How did you get in here?
I slipped up,
Cameron.
dude. I slipped up.
If we're,
Yeah.
if we're
I was
being
talking about the volleyball thing, and I said you as if I was talking to Alex.
So here's the thing. We talked about it out there. And we said, what if we just let them do the whole thing?
This was the end.
We can do
We were
it.
in here for a very long time.
That's kind of what we talked about. Is like let them have let it go
20
on
minutes.
for too long.
2 hours. Like, I don't like check.
I don't think they're coming back.
What's the number at? We have 18, so 10 more minutes till the video switches over.
Yeah.
How wide was that shot? Did it get
It's
me?
real wide.
Did it get me even if I was like right here?
Yep.
It's in there.
Oh yeah, you can't.
If I go back here, you can't see me.
Correct.
Hey, Cam, I got bigger muscles than usual. Right? This
Wider-
is really weird.
Wider frame.
I know.
Well, boys, we appreciate you guys taking our place for a little bit.
This is my house.
This is
This
not.
is my house.
This is my. I've been financing this place since the summer.
Fine. We'll pick that up later.
Yeah, we can. You guys sure you don't want to do the rest?
Good work, boys.
No, we're good.
You guys can finish it. This isn't my house. So
Apparently.
All right.
Well,
Goodbye.
we love you guys. We'll be out soon. Ish.
That's.
Well, that was weird.
Yeah.
I feel like it is. Does it feel like it's a little bit more on you?
Yeah.
Off topic.
Ask
Did
away.
you ever hear
It did.
the oven?
Yes.
Oven.
Yep.
Yes, oven dinged.
Yeah.
Like literally like 2 minutes into your pocket.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ready.
So it's stuff wasn't in there, right?
No.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
you're
get
good.
that pizza. in there.
Hey, go ahead.
All right.
It's all should be ready for you. Well, guys, welcome back to the Orange and Glad podcast. This is actually Nate.
And actually Cam.
Technically,
Well, technically.
actually Cam Toner.
It was the actual Cam Toner. This was Cam. Before.
So that was my roommate and our good friend Alex, and we asked them if they would do a little bit for us at the beginning of the show.
And we left him in here a long
And we
time.
left them in here too long, and then we thought about it in the living room, and we were like, what if we just left them in there the whole time?
The whole entire.
The entire time.
Um,
Cam, are you glad to be back?
dude, I am so glad to be back.
I am
We haven't
swell.
done a podcast in a minute. Like a hot minute.
Well, it feels like a hot minute, but it's actually
It's
been...
been like 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
We put out one last week.
Oh, did we?
Remember? I uploaded it before we left
Oh,
for
you're
fall
right.
retreat.
You're right. I
I
feel like
feel-
it's been so long.
I feel like we should talk about fall retreat since we were both
we're gonna
there.
get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Oh, it's on the list?
Yeah, we have an outline.
Oh no.
We have a structure.
No, we don't.
We have some sort of.
Do you know what just happened before we came in here?
I know. Oh no, that's in here. That's the part where we're impersonated for 20 minutes.
That's been in the script the whole
time. So
go ahead.
Oh well, I mean, actually, that's the thing. The thing we start with is how have we been this past week, and especially exciting personal news.
Interesting.
So
what does that mean?
So what even is that?
So talk about Fall Retreat.
Yeah. So
Hey, Nate,
yes, honey.
Are you prestige 3 and beautiful?
Yeah. Are you mad that I passed you?
Yeah, you passed me.
I thought you said you didn't care about BO4 anymore.
Well, I don't, but
Now you do.
now I do. Now that I know that you're ahead of me in prestige.
Well, we'll try to level up together.
I've been prestige 2 level 55 for about 6 months now.
Waiting for me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were waiting for me.
I have to go.
bye.
So if you guys didn't hear that, Cameron Johnson just asked me if I've prestige in Black Ops 4 without him.
You did.
Honey,
For a long
honey,
time.
off-topic question. No, I didn't get that far. You should prestige 3, honey. Okay. Yep, do it. Okay. So, Fall Retreat.
Nate and I had a blast this weekend.
You should just go. You should just start and go for a while, and I'll interrupt when needed.
I don't know how much like I actually like fully want to share on the podcast. I feel like I just want to share a little bit, like a little tidbit.
Well, here's the thing. The beauty of it is, it's an experience that you just had, so you're allowed to share all about it.
Oh, I know.
You're just telling people about it. There's
I know.
no. This isn't like.
Oh, I know.
They're not persuading people to go to Fall Retreat. They can't.
No, I know. they can't. It's over.
It's over, and they don't go here. Well, unless our friends are watching.
You don't even go here. Oh, well,
Unless our friends are watching, and then hello,
then they
probably
do go
Alyssa and Havana.
And they also
Maybe
were
Maddie.
there.
If we just talked to a girl named Maddie at dinner.
Yes, we did.
Maybe she's listening.
Who knows?
You should go.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah.
Not like me, but like.
Oh, yeah, you should go. You should leave. Yeah, no, this weekend was awesome. Nate invited me to go to this fall retreat with the Career Movement on campus, and it was a blast. Definitely learned a lot, got a lot of answers to a lot of questions, and got to meet a lot of awesome, amazing, fantastic, loving people. And that was pretty much like a weekend full of zero sleep, lots of friends, lots of fun, and lots of just super awesome loving and encouragement, which was super, super amazing. And I think the people I met there are definitely like gonna be friends for a long time, which makes me feel good. So that was like my weekend and Nate's weekend.
You tell them what question you asked me coming out of the atrium.
Oh, okay. So
explain that.
Okay,
just go into that for them.
So today, I talked to Nate and I was like, hey, so like I feel different. I feel really different and like.
And why do you feel different?
I feel different just because of the experience I had this weekend and
what
kind
was
of
that?
regaining my faith that I used to have that I now have, like I've rebirthed a full new like faith, which I mean I still had even when I wasn't going to church and like I had a community, but now I feel like I have a community and like a place I can go, which is nice.
A home,
and I've
if you will.
and I've not had that for a long time. So I felt different, and like I ran into people from Fall Retreat at coffee this morning. I ran into Zach Zentz and oh my gosh, she was in my group. Oh my gosh, her name was either Cassie
Underwood?
I think so.
I don't even know her that well, but I know that Zach knows her, so that makes sense.
Yes. And they were fantastic, and I just felt different. I was like, man, is this how Nate feels every day? Because like this is awesome. And then Nate and I were leaving, getting dinner, and we were in the middle of a conversation.
Word
and
for word, what did you say?
We were in the middle of talking, and I was like, yeah, so that's a lot of books. Like in like mid sentence, I was just like, that's because there was a huge bin for like donating books, but there was a lot of them in there, and I was just like in the middle of saying all these things, and I was like, in the middle was like squirrel, like that's a lot of books, and I was like, oh no, Nate, does loving Jesus give me ADHD? And Literally, this man lost his mind. He literally
broke down in front of the
broke down to the ground.
I started walking and then dropped to my knees and hit the pavement. And I go, that is one of the funniest things I've ever heard of.
Because it's concerning.
No. Does loving Jesus mean I'm going to get ADHD? It's not typically how that works, but not out of the realm of possibility.
Right. I needed
guess.
to know.
You got to know. So our weekend was fantastic, filled with encouragement and learning about. Our speaker was Roger Hershey. He's actually the guy who officiated my parents' wedding.
That was nuts when you told me that.
And it's funny because of the way crew works and just the way community works, and sometimes like how God works is like bringing people full circle in different generations of just like, oh my gosh, this guy was a part of my life in
before
the way
it was
that
even a life.
He brought my parents together before I was created.
Right.
And had a role to play, whether large or small, in potentially my creation.
Right.
And I'm like, that's pretty dope.
Right.
And then later on, being like, oh, hey, like you, I walked up to him at the crew meeting this past Thursday and was like, hey, I think my parents know you. My name's Nate Lex. And he goes, Lex. And I was like, he's like, Greg and Amy? And I'm like, yeah. So then my mom sent me pictures, which I might have to put in the podcast if I remember, of old him. Actually, I'll only pull them up for you so you can at least see them. Yeah, I'll try to pull them up I'll put them in the podcast. But this is my parents with Roger Hershey, and he did an entire talk on the fact that Jesus does and God does, they don't just love you in the way they died for you, but they also really like you. Like they delight in you because what the best way to put it, and I love the analogy he gave, was just like because he, like, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you believe, he created you, and so he loves you, and you are his child to him. So it's like the image I got of like a little kid riding on his dad's shoulders, and there's nothing that little kid can do to make the dad love him. He just does because that's like his kid, and the dad's kind of like smiling up at him, like anytime I hear that's my boy, like that's kind of what I think of. It's like there's nothing he can really do to earn the love. The dad's just like, that's my boy. Like I just like that's my kid.
Right.
And so that's the kind of talk we got this weekend. This is them.
Oh wow! Okay.
Greg, Amy, and Roger.
Oh my God, your dad.
My dad's a stud.
Your dad's a hunk of man.
My favorite thing is the stories my mom would tell of their honeymoon, because my mom looks so young in all of her pictures. Is she was at their honeymoon thing and she was getting like a drink at the bar or something, ordered like a small drink to like take out on the beach with like my dad and stuff, and she was like, is your mom here, honey? Thinking she was like 12. She's like, I'm on my honeymoon with my husband. And we just got married. And so she got like carded and asked where her mother was. I don't know if that's exactly it, but it's a similar story.
They probably thought that she was like...
To 12.
Like, no, they probably thought that if she ordered... Like, it was an alcoholic drink?
Yes.
Oh, then they probably thought that she was like 22 and on vacation with her mom. Like...
Or like not old enough to get it. Or like not old
enough to buy a drink.
Right. So she's like, where are your parents? So I am with my husband on the honeymoon. I'm so sorry. So, what was I saying? Oh, just anyway. Okay, so he did this awesome talk over spiritual breathing and just confessing sin, breathing out sin, and then inhaling and accepting the forgiveness of Christ. And then you just get to live more freely in that, knowing that you're forgiven, which doesn't, like, the more you understand the love that God has for you, the less you desire to sin. You're like, oh, well, like, if this guy loves me and this is something he tells me not to do, like, I want to please him. The more you learn about his love, the more you want to please him, because you're like, oh, well, he's never really wronged me, ever. So it's like you're caring parents or someone who's loved you your whole life. You're like, I don't want bad things for them ever. I actually want to like do stuff because I love them. And so instead he goes, well, we can't do anything to like make him love us anymore. So now we're just so it's the whole paying it forward concept that we've talked about multiple times. That like you're so loved that you just want to go. Did you hear that?
Oh, they're doing the video.
Are they listening to it on loud?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. I guess that's a cue if they haven't shown it to you yet. Anyway, we had a fantastic time at Fall Retreat, and we can talk about it more. We'll probably talk more about it at the Ohio Jam that will be this weekend. Yeah.
If people I would love to talk to people. People ask me about it.
Dude, yes. And for our friend Alex, this is where we show the clip. We'll have to pull up the clip somewhere. Oh, Alex just sent me the clip. So
did they talk about it in the?
I don't know, but I don't know if I should play the clip out loud or if I should just like play.
Oh no,
What
it
in
went away. We've been off for a while.
How long has it been? What are we timing at now? Because remember, they were at 18 minutes around, so we can probably give it a range close to what we're at.
We're at 32.
So it's probably 4 minutes gone?
Yeah.
4-ish minutes gone? Oh, no.
Anyways.
Well, then maybe just have one really long picture of my dad and my mom and Roger. Or this video playing over and over again in the middle.
So, moving on. Sponsor break. We don't have a sponsor, but if you would like to sponsor, this would be your spot. This would be it. So if you have like an online Magic store, if you have a card store, if you're trying to start up a deck on Kickstarter, if you're not even in the card community and you somehow found this and you want to sponsor an episode, just give us a DM on Instagram or shoot us an email or any other way of contacting us like Facebook or whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. Comment on this YouTube video. Let us know, and we would love to get in contact with you and let you sponsor a podcast. So yeah, that's where that break would be. Now, are you ready? Are you ready for the I'm going bananas question of the day?
Yes, I would also just like to say, for Alex, there's a video we might need to show later of a dog.
We're just gonna put it at the end.
Just randomly?
Just randomly at the end. Like when we say goodbye, it'll just be that dog video at the end, so they can hear the audio with it.
Okay, to clarify for everybody else, I'm only going to say it now. I'm not going to say it at the end.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it at the end.
So they have to listen to the whole thing.
Right, and it might be a surprise at the end if they don't listen now. At the very end,
Headphone warning.
Like
Turn
very,
down.
very big.
Halfway.
Or just be aware that something is coming.
Be aware.
That something is coming. This is your only warning. I will not warn you at the end.
That's so funny. All right, are you ready?
Love you. Bye. Okay, go ahead. Whatever. What's the banana question of the day?
I'm going bananas. Question of the day. If you could start a fake.
And you could.
If you
could do anything.
If you could start your own conspiracy theory, like your own fake conspiracy theory, what would it be?
Ooh. Like one that doesn't exist then.
Yeah, one like a fake, like one that doesn't exist. It could literally be anything. Like what is a fake, like what fake conspiracy theory would you want to start?
Hold on, before we hold on. Nope. I'm doing this. I'm just doing this.
What are you doing?
What is a conspiracy theory?
A conspiracy theory.
I'm reading the definition.
Oh, so we're gonna.
No, we don't need to put it in. Why did you put it in? Why did you do that? For audio listeners, he just put the link in the video.
I'm gonna put a screenshot.
That's the link. Not the link. Yes.
The definition.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it's still there. Got it. All right. I'm going to have to do some editing. A belief that some covert but influent... Because I wanted to know what exactly makes us a conspiracy theory.
You're right.
Because otherwise I'd be like, oh, the moon landing's fake. But like that doesn't... That's just a theory. That's just not a conspiracy.
No, that is a conspiracy theory.
Right, but what makes it a conspiracy rather than just a theory?
Oh, is it? Okay.
What makes the conspiracy portion of it... right. A belief that some covert but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or event. Okay, so one, the moon landing is fake is not a conspiracy theory.
Well,
and by the way it's worded.
Right.
It is a theory. So what makes it a conspiracy theory
is that an organization planned it.
Is that
some secret.
So it's like the government faked the moon landing.
Right.
That's a conspiracy theory.
And
if you just said the moon landing's fake, that's just a theory.
Right, correct.
So we're breaking down what a conspiracy theory is.
Right.
A conspiracy theory is when an organization like the government is responsible for a circumstance or event. So the event being moon landing fake, or the moon landing being theoretically not a thing. Like
I have mine.
What? You came with yours now? Yeah. Okay. But an organization, covert but influential organization has to be behind it. Okay? I'm so ready to hear yours now that you've... Go ahead. Then I'll do mine.
A fake conspiracy theory that I think would be funny to start would be that the original idea for delivery, like food delivery, was the government trying to keep tabs on if you still lived at your same house.
So like instead of going to pick something up from a store,
Yeah,
it being
the
delivered to
government started like,
delivering
anything so that
they can keep
they can
tabs on
keep
you in your
tabs
house.
on you in your house.
Okay, so let's see if that checks out. Covert but influential organization, so like they're not covert necessarily, but it would be a covert
Like,
operation.
yeah.
Like it wouldn't be announced. Is responsible for a circumstance or event. So it doesn't even have to be bad.
No.
That would be like a negative one. But conspiracy theories can actually be good.
Yeah.
I think that there's a negative connotation around the word conspiracy theory, and it's not all bad.
Yeah.
I believe that some covert but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or event. So that you could literally that just means that you'd be like, okay, the government invented ice cream to seek, or like the government invented veggie straws secretly to
fight obesity.
To like fight obesity in our country. Like yeah, because it could be for a good cause. Most of the time, you don't necessarily need those to be covert, but conspiracy theories typically aren't, but are possible to be, based on the definition, good things. Which is an interesting view to look at that in. Like you could have a good conspiracy theory. Like government came up with like candy bars that started being like the best-selling candy. Okay, this is mine. The Illuminati made a chocolate bar that tastes just like chocolate, but is full of like actual nutrients and vitamins that you need to have a better day, like healthier daily life, and it has it as a reasonable price, and then just like overnight becomes like the most popular chocolate company in America, chocolate company, or in the world even.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to fight. What's the word for it? Like not healthy? What's the word for like not living healthy? Like malnutrition is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
They're fighting malnutrition with.
You don't get your daily nutrients from frozen pizza?
No, but the chocolate bar that the Illuminati designed that they're behind that benefits, yes.
Willy Wonka's a part of the
What? You guys have to watch the video.
Oh no!
I just put a triangle up to my face.
Oh, you need to cut the music
Willy
under it.
Wonka, the amazing chocolate. I'm just picturing the Willy Wonka song, but in like
Stop,
minor,
and, like,
so it's really creepy.
no.
Although, wait, we talked about it. Wait, we talked about this. It doesn't have to be bad, so it doesn't have to be creepy. Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier. Full of nutrients and vitamins to pack your daily life.
This week on the
That
Organic
was-
Playing Cards podcast.
That was actually our sponsor break.
Nathan.
What, for Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
Yeah,
Not a sponsor.
not a sponsor.
Hashtag not an ad.
Yeah. So next up, we have.
Okay, so we did the question.
Yeah, we did the question. We did it. Next up is OPC news.
We got a
if you
jam
haven't-
on Saturday.
We do. We have a jam Sunday.
Sunday.
We have a jam on Sunday in
Sunday, jam in
Cincinnati. Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome.
Lucas
dot magic is helping us put on a jam in Ohio, in Cincinnati. Admission covers the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Who are you?
I'm a radio announcer for any big hype event. Anywhere. People are going to think that I put an effect on this microphone, but it is just my voice.
They are. They actually are.
What? That's crazy. Welcome to WZFM, The Mix, on 105.7 radio
Who?
in Muncie, Indiana. The Mix.
That's just the mix. That's all it is. The mix.
We're called The Mix. I can only do this voice all the time because I'm sick. I've been coughing up enormous amounts of mucus.
You have been. That's.
Cue video.
Oh no!
That's where I'm putting it.
That's where you're putting
I'm
it.
not even putting it at the end.
At the end. No, you put it at the end. Anyway.
Perfect.
So if they skip to the end, it's there. Anyway. So
Oh.
in other news.
The Mix.
In other news, new deck.
Where
Oh
is it?
hello! Move your face. Move it out of your.
Oh, move into my face, you mean?
Into your face. That looks so good.
Guys, we were hanging
That
out
candy red.
in our atrium, this place where we get food, And this deck is just beautiful.
But yeah, so new deck was announced. If you haven't gotten to watch the video, go watch it. Tell us your thoughts. Nate was Johnny Appleseed in New York City. We hung out with Matt Fox. I think we've told you all of that.
You talk 2 more seconds. I have actually some notes.
Great. But yeah, it was a blast. We got to hang out with Linus, Matt Fox, Lorenzo, a bunch of people that came to the jam there. It was awesome. So if you haven't gone and watched that video, please go watch it. It was a video that Nate and I worked really, really hard on, and we would really appreciate you guys to go watch it. So, do you have other OPC news? Wait, before. The Slicers actually, the early bird special release is November 15th through the 17th for 72 hours. So, be ready because there is a dope half brick box that's currently being printed.
Does
and
that
will be
mean
on
that
the
for
way
the
soon.
okay? Spoiler alert! If you guys don't already know this, does that mean that for the winter one, that it'll be still be in December, so they'll be like a month away from each other?
No, they'll be a month and a half away.
So does that mean
The
we're
early
putting
bird
out-
special will be like the week before Christmas. Or were they like the week of Christmas? Like Christmas
No, that's
on
what,
like a.
but that's what I mean. No, that'll only be a month.
That'll be
That means if the
that'll be a
regular-
month and a week. 5 weeks.
Sure.
Yes.
Be a month and a no.
The 15th to like the 20. It'll be like the 22nd through the 25th, or it'll be the 20. No, it'll be.
You're talking about for December?
Yeah, it'll be.
It'll be a month because the original launch is on the 20th. If the original launch is on the 20th. Oh wait, are you saying it's the 15th through the 17th?
Yes.
And so the 17th is like official launch, or are we gonna do official launch later then?
We'll do official launch probably 2 days later on the 19th.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's like a month.
Or no, 2 days later on the 19th or something.
And then that means that a month later ish we'll be coming out with, because we're gonna come out with them before Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that means that another deck will be out a month later, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we haven't figured out what to do with a Utah Cardist's mic. But
Yeah. So the issue with that is that
So
it's
if we didn't
it's a
mention this before,
USB.
we didn't mention this before. We were gifted a mic, which was so generous of them, and we really
Yes.
appreciate it. So check out Utah Cardist, all one word, on Instagram. He's dope. We met him at the convention, and we are looking to use.
Find a use for it.
Yeah, well, actually, I used it for one of the videos for like voiceover and stuff.
Oh, nice. You could
So-
with the arm. You could probably even use it for tutorials.
I just thought about that, especially with where I now sit and the
And
arm.
then just it'll.
A Utah Cardist, we just found a use for it.
We literally
Didn't-
just figured
we
it
didn't.
out.
All right, we don't need it anymore. So thanks, guys. We appreciate the help.
The podcast's over. It's
The podcat.
the podcast. Is
That I would just like to explain to you.
the Yogcast.
The Yogscast. I just want to explain to you how God actually works through our brains.
Yeah.
Stuff like that that will go towards a good use and help benefit. Just like those weird out of the blue moments where you're like,
Why did I even think of that?
it literally took us what, 10 seconds?
And we've been trying to figure it out for months.
You just say it out loud. He's like, I got it.
There.
Thank
yeah.
you.
So we're gonna use that soon, and it'll be great because that'll be nice, crispy audio.
It's gonna be better than the iPhone, Mike. I'll tell you that.
It will. Yeah.
Does that mean that means I have to record it separately with my computer? We'll have to experiment with that.
And you'll just clap, and then we
Great.
didn't clap for this one, but it'll be fine.
I find it anyway, usually without
Yeah,
claps.
same. But what notes do you have for
yeah.
OPC news? What do you?
It's not OPC news, or it's not
Or like,
specific.
what is it? Just
I was watching a sermon earlier today,
Okay.
and I'll go over some of the points just so you get it. So it's talking about just being marked by God and having His approval and things. It was going through the story of David and King Saul in the Bible, and one of the things he was talking about was just like the concept analogy was like David in the Bible was anointed to be king of Israel before he became king. So like Samuel came and anointed him, but like basically saying that God will give you vision for something that you might do in the future, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get it right away. He's giving you the vision and you're like, oh, that's something that I'm going to do. And just because you're not king tomorrow or in this position tomorrow
Doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
doesn't mean it's not coming through. He's giving you the vision for it, which means there's still going to be stuff to happen. So basically, in the story, he was anointed to be king of Israel. Like the power and approval had now switched from King Saul to David, but David went back to the field to still tend to the goats and the sheep, even though he had been anointed king.
Right.
Because he wasn't in the palace yet. So you're spiritually appointed, but not physically appointed yet.
Right.
And what it was talking about was remembering that when your ascension to a higher position physically doesn't mean that you're like more valued or anything. It just means that you have a bigger influence to serve. And so that you're given more so that you can give more.
Right.
So that like the way that the president and different people in high power should be looking at their position is, I have a responsibility now that I am in such a big power to benefit the most amount of people that I can.
Yeah.
So it was talking about like living in humility if you've been given high positions. So I was thinking about how we have a fairly high influence in the community now, which is awesome, which means that I basically wrote high positions equal high service to people, like a higher amount of service to people and living in humility. Then I wrote about your water filter thing just because like, you called me in the middle of that, so I wrote that down. And so then I was thinking about how we were hanging out with Oliver at the Jam.
Yes.
And how living in humility that's an example of like learning from others and not assuming that you know everything and not assuming that you know the most.
Right, because you were pretty much just like, teach me something, and he was like, what?
Yes.
And he had no clue you're gonna ask.
Or the thing that the guy said in the sermon, which was great, was, are you gonna be the owner of the business and still take the trash out, or are you gonna think that you're above that now that you're the boss?
Right.
And it's like, no, or you shouldn't be.
Right.
And that like you should also he was talking about goat level things, so being like the shepherd,
like
guitar level things.
I thought you were talking about like the
not,
goat.
Yes. Well, what's funny is he said that in the middle. He was like, I should have called this sermon the goat. Like, yeah. So he says, so goat level things like tending to your herd and your sheep at like low, like it stinks kind of because you're like tending to animals.
Right.
The guitar level, when he's taking care of King Saul's demon by playing his guitar and soothing his mind by playing his instrument, his harp, and then Goliath level things, so that you will be given great honor in the things that you defeat, like when like Goliaths in your life or mountains are defeated, but that doesn't mean that you should not be still willing to go
back to that first original thing,
right, and think you're above that.
Right.
You will be given great honor, but still live in humility that like, yes, I did do this big thing, but it doesn't mean that I'm above doing these littler things still. So one of the examples he did was that is in the scripture is he's now been appointed as one of King Saul's like workers, so he's now working in the palace that he'll eventually like live in, inherit. But that he's now not working with the sheep and goats anymore. But I love when people make it applicable. So like scripture is scripture, but sometimes if you read it and you're not able to relate it back to yourself, or at least give yourself an image of what it looked like, then it's hard to understand. So one of the things he was talking about was he now works in the palace, so he has a higher position, but he's still been asked to go deliver food to his brothers on the battlefield. And so he has to deliver them bread and cheese. And so basically the guy goes, he's like, yeah, David's out here working in the palace, but he still has to work at Postmates. And like, so it's like relatable. So people go, I get what you mean, or I get what it's saying. It may not be Postmates, but it's like I understand the concept of what that looks like.
Yes.
So it's like just because you work at this amazing accounting firm and you're like the CEO now doesn't mean that you don't still do Postmates on the weekend because there's a little thing extra that you still need to make up or like make whatever. Or you're doing Postmates because a friend is like sick in bed and so you're taking a shift on the weekend so he can still live to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like living in a humility of just not thinking that you're owed this, like that you're entitled. Now that you're in a higher position, you don't have to also still do that work. So then I wrote down, be a consumer again. Like, because when I was coming up, that I wanted to learn like other people's moves and whatnot. And sometimes I learned other people's moves, and sometimes I like making up my own. And so I think I've all gotten into this mindset of I don't have time to go learn other people's moves because I have to come up with my own for the people that are learning mine, when in actuality, some of the times learning other people's moves gives me ideas for my own things. Right. So like going and learning from Oliver was awesome, and I even put it on our story today, the day we're recording, of just like his move called keyframe. So I think it's Ollie, OLLIE_SAIDEL, and go look him up on Instagram. He's got this move called keyframe, and just to like shout him out real quick. Go check him out on Instagram, and maybe if he ever puts a tutorial out to learn keyframe, because I actually really liked it. And assuming that, I don't know how long he's been doing cardistry. He's 13.
Yeah.
He's probably doing it.
He said he's been doing it. I think he told you like 2 years.
So less than me.
Right.
And I have my own brand, and I
Right.
have made 6 decks of cards.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I can't take time out of my schedule to go, Ollie, your moves are still valuable, and I am humiliating. I think the connotation has been taken out of what it actually means, but like humbling myself before the fact that even though I've been doing it much longer than him, I can still learn from him.
Well, because I think he said it as in like, oh, I should be learning from you.
From me, and I'm like,
no.
you can be, but I'm
Like I want
to learn from you
yeah.
because I am understanding that I don't know everything, even though I am potentially in a higher position, which we're making money off of decks of playing cards. We've got like an office space, but all of that has been gifted to us. Like the growth. That's also what he talked about in here is like, the elevation and promotion is only by God's choice. And if he doesn't want you to be in an upper position, just kind of like the thing with the extra booth space at the con, like that was such a gift. And that was more obviously not in our power at all.
Right, exactly.
But like any growth at all comes from him.
Right.
So like because we could have, because if you think back to it, we might not have run into Kevin. We might not have ever sold a deck of cards. We might not have even made the final product.
Right.
It might have happened differently, but we might not have it all.
Right.
And we might have failed, but we didn't. So the growth here is giving the honor to him, being like, well, you did the freaking growing because we didn't know what Kevin would do, and we didn't know how this would all turn out. And now we're sitting in front of a camera and a mic with uncut sheets of other decks that we've printed on the wall with lights that were gifted to me from my grandparents. Like all of this. Yeah, and blankets. And like, we're doing the thing.
We are.
Also, what time? We got 7 more minutes till we have to switch it again. But yeah, just one thing I wanted to think of that's kind of like OPC news-ish is like potentially featuring either me doing it or even them doing it on our page of like, actually I might want to do it just because to keep the quality of the Instagram up, but we can still talk about it later. Just like me or I guess that might even be a better example. Me taking the time to go out and learn somebody else's move that's like maybe smaller than us.
Like shout them out.
And use our cards and post a video of me doing it and be like, hey, this is a move I just went and learned from someone in our community. Go check them out.
Yeah.
And so we can make the post dedicated to them and shout out. It doesn't have to be them, so we can do quality control on what it looks like. But it also then allows you or I
to learn new moves.
To learn some of our...
Because I would also love to do that.
Bam. OPC news.
Anyway.
I like that. I'm writing that down.
Do it, because we just came up with it.
Do the pen.
That's what we do with the podcast. No, I wish I had a magic trick for you right now, but I don't.
Oh, and then another thing that was dope, and this is encouragement for all of our followers out there who are doing something on their own, or whatever. How do I put this? Encouragement for if you're kind of being discouraged about like comparing yourself to other people in the community that like you maybe don't know cardistry as well as me yet, or you might know cardistry better than me, but whatever. Like if you're, this is right now is more to the people who have not been doing cardistry for long. This was said in the sermon that still gets me. Ready?
Yep.
Stop comparing your seed to their tree.
Yeah.
Think about that one.
And we're organic.
Perfect.
Apples.
Literally perfect.
Seeds.
Could not have been better. It's funny because I didn't think about it, but it could not have lined up better.
That's funny.
So listen, you are potentially just young in cardistry and have not done it that long. I have maybe more of a tree. I've done it for like 6 years, 6.5-ish now. And I have this. This is the growth that's happened that God has provided me. You go and still do cardistry and be your seed in that time and here's something that I don't want people to get discouraged about. If you haven't been doing it for that long, allow yourself time to grow. You will drop cards. You will do a lot of things. You will get better. Don't stop like trying.
Not to quote.
Go ahead.
I'm going to quote Macklemore right now.
All right. I believe in you.
And in the first song on the Heist album.
Oh no.
10,000
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. Thank you. Literally one of the lines is The greats weren't great because at birth they could paint. The greats were great
because they paint a lot.
So like,
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
The greats weren't great because
And
at birth they could paint. The greats were great because they paint a lot.
That's Macklemore.
And then and the whole song is about 10,000 hours equals 10,000 hands. 10,000 hands that carried me.
Yeah.
Or to carry me.
Yeah.
Which means that like that said, if you guys haven't heard that, I forget who that quote's from. Actually, I'll look that up real quick so we can fact check it. 10,000 hour quote. This is why we have laptops in front of us.
Yes.
Malcolm Gladwell wrote, "The 10,000 hours is the magic number of greatness." Now, I don't know if this is an actual number, so I don't equate that to like a necessarily beating a real number. But basically, the concept of what he's saying is, if you've practiced something for 10,000 hours, you'll become a master at it. And for 6.5 years, I probably still have not have spent 10,000 hours in cards. But if you've spent only 2 hours learning, I tell people that people get discouraged at themselves for not learning to be able to swing cut in a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, if you think I got swing cuts in a minute, you're wrong. I've just been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So you just will get better over time. It's when you stop doing it that you give up. So don't give up. Keep trying and realize that stuff like if you're just learning cardistry, it's kind of hard. Obviously, there's stuff that's easier for me now, but I've been doing it for 6 years. So just go like learn and practice. Also, cardistry is just supposed to be fun. Like if a move doesn't feel fun to you, then maybe don't learn it. Like if it's starting to not feel cool anymore, and you're just getting like, or you're like, I can't do it, just like this other person, then don't learn that move. Go learn a move that's more fun to do. Get really, 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 really freaking good at padiddle. And just do it
And then
forever.
go to CardistryCon and win the padiddle contest. And then win some cards.
I was almost tempted to be like, if you can show me a video of you padiddling for an hour, I'll fly you out. They actually should do that, though.
That'd be super cool.
Pitching doesn't have to be us. We don't have the funding for that yet.
No.
Yet.
Sure not.
Yet.
Yet.
CardistryCon. If a guy sends you a padiddle, I'll text
Melissa's
him.
husband.
Yes. Yes. If I send you, or if someone sends them an hour-long clip of them doing a padiddle that's obviously not cut and actually them padiddling, they should be sent to CardistryCon for free, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Because there's like the amount, there's no way. Like that was what, 2 seconds?
Yeah.
If it's for an hour long and you can still do it, send them to CardistryCon for free.
You buy them a car.
Right. Buy them.
A brand new car.
All right, 27.
Well, we don't have Q&A because we're doing this one kind of late. So really, it's just final thoughts.
We don't have a Q&A. We don't have to do a Q&A every time.
We don't, but like I just put that in there. This would be the time to
Right.
go over the Q&A.
Correct.
So I'm just saying
that was
we're moving
me
on.
processing out loud.
Yes, we're checking that off the box.
Off the box.
Off the box. That's
That
off the
didn't make
bo-
sense.
It didn't. Just roll.
Guys, Matt Fox wanted me to come up with new moves, so I'm... You're welcome, Matt. I'm really good. No, actually, let's not do that.
Yep, you were making a mess.
Cameron, I was going through Foundations so Foundations is like a packet of stuff to like if people are kind of like getting into like the faith. Actually, I should take you through Foundations. Like just like I have a bunch of like good questions. Just a lot of like where those answers can be found in Scripture.
Right.
And I'm going through that today with my friend Jacob. And Cameron's leaving the apartment, and he was sipping his water really loudly on purpose while he was leaving. And I turned around and I go, "You are making a ton of noise."
You are
and
making
we just all laughed.
And the last thing we should do really quick before final thoughts is
Patreon?
Well, yeah. So we don't have any technically new subscriptions, but we have an up subscription that we didn't shout out from Petro, Christovem.
Pietro?
Pietro, yes.
He moved his.
Thank
He
you.
said that it moved it down.
Oh, whatever. He got a shout out because we love him. He's
Well,
great.
actually,
He was the first one.
we have all four. We can just shout him out again.
Yeah, sure. We also
Pietro,
have Nicholas.
Nicholas, without a
and-
last name.
No, without a last name.
Ruth, is she still on there?
Yes, RG Cardistry.
RG Cardistry on Instagram. Check her out. She dope.
Yep, those are the three.
Is there not a fourth one?
No.
Oh, there's a fourth one.
No.
Oh, there's a fourth person in general.
No.
Oh, it was the second one from Nicholas or something. Okay.
Right. Yeah. It was his. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. Do we not have a pen anywhere?
No.
For real? I think I see a pen over there.
For real?
Do we?
Yes.
Do we actually not? Hold on. I'm gonna grab this pen. Oh. No! Don't you move.
Oh, I just had to pop my back from that medical table I slept on this weekend. That's how hard that
Do you really
mattress
think so?
was. Oh, mine was hard. Mine was.
Are you just used to softer beds?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I was gonna write down podcast. There's the headphone warning. Pic of parents.
Oh no.
So picture of my parents and
the
and
definition of the conspiracy theory.
Definition. Oh no, I'm gonna have to listen for that.
And then just scrub through and look for when you do this or when I do this.
Why?
Because that's where I did it.
Oh, when you went like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. Definition of conspiracy theory and
we're gonna start
dog
learning
clip.
other people's moves to shout out on the podcast or to shout out on the gram, on the Facebooks. That's hot.
It's fire.
That's
an open flame.
So just no.
Ooh, this is warm.
I don't
Also, there's no airflow in this room, so
I
I
know,
can
so
feel what
it's-
they meant by like it's soggy.
Toasty, yeah. All right. So what is the? We'll just consider those are our final thoughts, and what this is going to be a long one. So what's going to be their secret? Their secret
How long
thing
is it?
to message. It's gonna be real long.
How long?
We have their
Oh my
part,
gosh.
and we have our part, and we're at an hour and 3. And
Total?
Yeah. No. Oh yes, total.
Yeah, total.
Sorry. Yep.
Were you thinking they're beginning?
Yes. So, what's their secret phrase to put on the podcast? I'm gonna say imposter syndrome.
What?
Imposter syndrome? Or no. What was I thinking of? No, imposter syndrome's not what I'm thinking of.
What are you thinking of?
I don't know. I thought that was the word.
Talk
and
it
it's
out.
not.
Talk it out. The concept of what you're saying. We'll get there.
Something because the beginning of the podcast we had to
Like being impersonated.
impersonated. Yeah.
So an imposter. I get what you're trying to go for.
What happened to Cam and Nate?
Well, maybe we need to watch their part and figure out something funny they said.
But we gotta say it on here.
Do we need to go ask them? Bring them back in for the end?
No, just say the dog clip. What about the dog clip?
Hey, boys, exit out of that session for a second. Like, that match. Oh, what are you guys doing?
He's gonna go get it right now. You have to wait.
Are they doing it again? It was like, wow. Just come in. Just come in here for a second. And now we have...
What? Are they?
They're coming.
What was
No,
what was one of your favorite bits?
Get on that side.
Bits from what?
From
And then
the
stand on
beginning of
this side of
because
him.
we give them a secret thing to post
Like
on
stand
our
here.
to comment on our videos, to say
There you
that
go.
they watched it.
What was something funny you guys did? Because we're gonna have to. You guys can come up with.
We have to name it?
No, not the name. Or you guys can if you want. The comment. So basically, what we do always is there's like a secret message that we let them know about.
At the very end, so it lets them know that they listened through the whole podcast.
So and they comment on one of our social media posts, so we know they listened all the way through the podcast. So what? But it has to be like topical about something we talked about.
What's an example?
Like, what was something funny you guys talked about? Just say it was something funny you guys talked about, and then I'll help you get there.
Atheist nightmare.
He threw a deck
No,
of
yeah,
cards.
deck of
That's
cards.
why the deck of cards on the
Yeah.
ground. He literally
Oh,
is
you-
trying
did you
to
go-
Make it rain.
Did you explain the atheist nightmare thing?
Yeah, I did, or kind of. It was a for fun thing. No, make
Here's-
it rain.
Here's what's perfect. You could say make it rain. What's perfect about that is the atheist nightmare video that we'll show you in a second is about a banana. And we did bananas. Didn't I show you this clip? Did I tell you about this?
No.
I showed him initially.
Okay, basically, we'll show you the video in a second.
Oh no! You did. No, you did.
So then what should it be? It should be like
This-
making it rain atheist nightmares?
No.
Or it rains in atheists' nightmares?
Sure.
All right, guys. So comment this on our social media. Comment this on our most recent social media post. It rains in atheists' nightmares. That's a sentence. That's an observation. Is that it would rain in an atheist's nightmare. So, comment that on some of our social media. Thank you, Alex and Cam, for being on our podcast and being special guests
We appreciate
and
it.
running the show at the beginning.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
You're welcome. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.